This is 17 News with continuing coronavirus coverage.
Good afternoon, and thanks for joining us. We come to you with breaking news. Kern Public Health is reporting the first ever COVID-19 death in Kern County. They made the announcement just minutes ago. Public Health has not released any info about the person, but Director Matt Constantine says, quote, "We offer our deepest condolences to the family and are saddened by this." He also said it is a reminder to practice social distancing. There are 35 total confirmed cases. So far, 647 people have tested negative, and there are 920 tests still pending. Well, here's a look at how those cases break down by region. West Bakersfield has the most cases with 20. East Bakersfield has 5. There are 6 in the Valley region, 1 in the desert, but none are confirmed in the mountains. And more breaking news right now. More than 100 inmates are being transferred out from Taft Correctional Institute. This morning, 105 inmates were bused to Meadows Field Airport to be flown to other federal facilities across the country. The Federal Bureau of Prisons says Taft Correctional will close by April 30th. This is just the first group of many set to be transferred in the coming weeks as the prison holds more than 1,000 inmates. Earlier this week, the Management and Training Corporation, which operates the prison, filed a warning notice with the county of Kern saying its contract with the Bureau of Prisons was ending. More than 300 employees are expected to be laid off. And a grim milestone in the coronavirus pandemic for the Central Valley, the area reported its first death. That was in Madera County, where Public Health reported its first death yesterday. Officials say the person who died was a man in his 60s who had underlying health conditions. He tested positive for the virus on Monday and was infected through person-to-person contact. Madera County now has 7 confirmed coronavirus cases. And Ridgecrest Regional Hospital confirms it is treating its first COVID-19 patient. No information has been released about the patient, but hospital CEO Jim Server says this wasn't unexpected, and he wants to assure the community the hospital is prepared to treat a possible surge in cases.
We are working very hard to make sure that we have all the necessary equipment in place, such as ventilators. I know that's a concern in the community. Right now, I believe that we have enough intensive care rooms and ventilators to adequately serve our community should a surge happen. We also have resources available for other such equipment should the need come.
Now for a quick look at weather, let's send things over to Kevin Charette.
Well, Nicole, I have broken out of the house and I've made my way to the Riverwalk Park here, and it is just beautiful out here. You can see some broken clouds. I've seen some kids fishing along the banks. Everybody practicing that social distancing on this beautiful day. And we are going to continue to see a nice day ahead as these clouds will continue to part. You can see here on the satellite and radar that there's not much to show you right now except a few clouds. We did see a few snow flurries in the mountains early this morning, but that has been about it. We're at 56 right now in Bakersfield with a west-northwest wind at 3. And as we take a look at the temperatures for you today, you can see we will rise into the lower 60s. As we take a look at the mountains, 41 degrees right now in Tehachapi with a west-northwest wind at 13. And throughout the day, you can see those temperatures in the 40s and then back into the 30s throughout this evening. Back out here live, and you can see the beautiful park right now. And again, the ducks are enjoying it, and a lot of people getting a lot of exercise in here throughout the morning hours and now as we go into the noon. So overall, a very nice start to the afternoon, Nicole. I'll have much more in your forecast coming up in a few minutes.
Thanks for that, Kevin. Well, the United States is now the epicenter of the coronavirus pandemic with the most cases in the world. This afternoon, there are 86,103 confirmed cases of the virus in the United States. China and Italy aren't far behind. Worldwide, there are 594,478 cases. In the U.S., more than 1,300 people have died. That amounts to a death rate of about 1.4% of patients who have been diagnosed. And worldwide, there are more than 24,000 people have died because of the virus. That puts the worldwide death rate at about 4.5%. In California, there are more than 4,000 cases of COVID-19. The Bay Area has the most cases of anywhere else in the state. NBC Bay Area reports that health officials say there that if people ignore the shelter-in-place order, deaths in the area could jump to more than 8,000 by May. And while it's a difficult and confusing time for many in Kern County, one local woman is sharing her story in hopes that it inspires others to be compassionate towards others. 17's Taylor Schaup has more.
It was a single act of kindness that left Lynn Brown speechless.
I was stunned because I almost didn't understand what was happening at that moment.
The Bakersfield native was at Winco buying groceries for her neighbor and 91-year-old father. But when she entered the checkout line, things got a little complicated.
Put everything down on the conveyor belt. She checks me out, and I plug in my credit card, and she's like, "Oh, hon, we don't take credit cards." And I'm like, "What do you mean?" She goes, "Nope." She goes, "Cash, check, or debit." And I'm like, I have none of those.
Then something amazing happened. Out of the blue, a complete stranger walked over, offering to foot the bill.
She just walked right over, and she's like, kind of just put her card in there. And I looked at her like, "What are you doing?" And she's like, "I'm buying your groceries."
Brown was in shock, overwhelmed by the generosity.
Because it wasn't that I had $20 worth of groceries. I had over $100 worth of groceries.
She offered to pay the bill back, but the stranger said no.
She's like, "Don't worry about it." She said, "All I want you to do is pay it forward."
A message that resonated when Brown posted the story on social media.
Some were saying, "I was brought to tears by your story." Others were saying, "I really can't wait to pay it forward and do that also."
Reminding us all in these uncertain times that compassion is still alive and well in the Golden Empire.
This story just seemed to really strike a chord with people and be just a little ray of light, a little ray of sunshine.
And it's now been 1 week since the governor's statewide stay-at-home order went into effect, closing businesses from dine-in restaurants to gyms. But it's perhaps more important than ever to fit exercise into your daily routine. So every Friday, KGET will be live streaming workouts that you can do with us from the safety of your home. This morning, our own Maddie Jansen worked out with Anne-Marie Frank from Happy Hole. They did a body weight workout from her home, no equipment needed. Just sign on to KGET.com or our 17 News Facebook page to follow along. Doctors say exercise is proven to boost your immune system and relieve anxiety and stress. And we've been telling you that many local restaurants are still open during this pandemic. Now we have an even better list of who's still serving on our website. It's called Kern County Open. You'll find grocery stores with special hours for seniors, restaurants doing takeout, delivery, and curbside pickup, and more. And since tonight, you can celebrate the end of the work week with a family dinner and game night and support our local businesses. Just go to KernCountyOpen.com, and if you own a restaurant and want to be on the list, you can send us an email to 17news@kget.org. And here's a list of businesses and services that can stay open during the statewide order. Grocery stores will remain open. That includes farmers markets, local banks, gas stations, convenience stores, pharmacies, and they are all still open as well. And while you can't dine in at a restaurant, you can still do takeout and delivery. What's closed? Dine-in restaurants, bars, and nightclubs, entertainment venues, gyms, and fitness studios, public events, and gatherings. And our coverage doesn't stop here. You can find all of our information on this pandemic at KGET.com. We have lists of testing sites, food resources, the latest headlines, and more. Again, that's on KGET.com. Coming up, some people like us here at TV 17 are lucky enough to work remotely, but so many others are out of a job. How they're adjusting to unemployment still ahead. Let's send things back over to Kevin.
Well, Nicole, this is the best decision I made on this Friday, and I think I'm going to make this a normal thing on Friday. Head on out to the park as long as the weather's nice and enjoy it. The birds are singing in the background. People are taking their walks. We've got people fishing along the banks. So a great day, a great Friday for people to get out of the house. Again, practicing that social distancing, but a lot of people are following that rule of thumb right now. And I'm at the park at Riverwalk, and it's just beautiful out here. Let's talk about our weather, what we can expect heading heading into the weekend. Right now, temperatures are running into the 50s. We've got 56 in Bakersfield at this time, 59 in Taft, and then for the mountains, 41 in Tehachapi, 45 for Lake Isabella. As we take a look at the skies, a little bit of cloud cover, but other than that, we will continue to see clearing skies throughout the day. And as we head into the weekend, there is a weak disturbance out of the north that'll bring some clouds in for our Saturday and Sunday. But today, temperatures are going to be nice. 52 in Sacramento, 63 in Fresno with 60s down to the south into L.A. and San Diego. And here's a look at the overall pattern. One system exits, one will enter tomorrow into Sunday, and it may bring a chance of showers into our area by Sunday afternoon into the evening. As you can see here on our Futurecast model, that's Sunday at 9:30. So probably even early evening into the late evening hours, a chance of those showers, and then it moves on out, and we see clearing again. I know a lot of people have been wanting to see a warm-up, and it will come. But here's a look at the headlines. We did see a few mountain snow showers this morning. Maddie Jansen, as she was driving in, did report that. And then that weak system for the weekend will move on in, and then warmer weather on the way for next week. In fact, mid to upper 70s by Wednesday into Thursday. Today we'll be looking at 62 in Bakersfield, 63 in Delano, 60 in Taft, a light wind out here right now. And then as we take a look at the mountains, so we'll look for 46 in Frazier Park, 43 in Bear Valley, and 50s into the Kern River Valley and clearing skies. And then for the desert, we'll look for a high of 51. Still a little bit breezy out in the Mojave area. Your extended forecast, I did put a 20% chance in there on Sunday. And then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday of next week, partly cloudy and 70s. In fact, by Wednesday, we could be looking at temperatures near 80. And then for the mountain, slight chance of a rain snow shower on Sunday, and then partly cloudy Monday through next Thursday. Temperatures will be into the upper 60s by midweek. And then for the Kern River Valley, also looking very nice. Some clouds for the weekend, but temperatures rebounding in the mid-50s. And then next week, partly cloudy and 70s back on the board Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Nicole, we'll send it back to you.
Thank you, Kevin, for that, and enjoy being outside, but from a distance. Well, jobless numbers are skyrocketing thanks to the coronavirus crisis. Up next, we hear personal stories from people who were laid off.
KGET Business Watch is brought to you by Grapevine MSP Technology Services, the Valley's leading IT service provider.
In your 17 Business Watch, several automobile companies have taken steps to restart factories in North America. Ford, Fiat, Chrysler, Honda, and Toyota plants have been closed to protect workers from the coronavirus. Now, they're planning to reopen in early or mid-April. The reopening would restore the largest resource of cash for automakers that generally book revenue when they ship vehicles to dealerships. And Peeps is pausing production amid the coronavirus. The Just Born Confections Company says its production facilities in Philadelphia are closed through April 7th, but it shouldn't affect your Easter baskets. The company says it has already produced and shipped the Easter supply of its signature marshmallow confection to stores around the globe. Its other companies include Mike and Ike's, Goldenberg's Peanut Chews were also shipped before the production stopped. And it's a painful reality. Millions of Americans woke up today without jobs. More than 3 million people have filed for unemployment, shattering previous records. Now we're hearing their personal and powerful stories. Here's NBC's Joe Ling with more.
We've been pretty devastated.
Don't know how I'm going to pay my bills. How am I supposed to survive?
This is the grim new reality weighing heavily on the shoulders of millions of Americans after a stunning 3.28 million unemployment claims were filed last week alone, shattering records. That's nearly 5 times the previous high set back in 1982. Beyond the numbers are American workers out of a job. Luerica Fife lost her passenger service job at JFK International Airport in New York.
I've poured my heart, soul, blood, sweat, and tears into this job, and the airlines just laid me off.
Kelly Nordberg was told her job at a major hotel in Seattle is suspended until at least May.
I haven't worked in over 3 weeks, and I don't know if I'm going to run out of money before I can start working again.
In Alabama, bartender Matt Westbury tells us he's in the same boat.
Luckily, I kind of had worked a few shifts before this all happened, so I had a few money to keep me afloat, but it's not enough to get me through a whole month.
As Congress inches closer to passing a relief package that would send money directly to Americans, state unemployment offices are being overwhelmed.
I was fired last Thursday. Been trying to file unemployment continuously to no avail.
The unemployment department's phone lines are always busy, and I have been kicked off of their website while filing my claim.
And with the first of the month just days away, every hour of work lost and every delay in getting unemployment benefits matters.
You know, I have rent I have to pay for, family to provide for. I have to make sure that my kids are able to eat. You know, my wife's able to eat. I gotta make sure that we all have a roof over our heads.
On the other side of the equation are small business owners like Kern. He was forced to close his 2 LA dumpling shops and says laying off almost 24 employees was excruciating.
Of being in business, I had to tell them one by one, and we're laying them off. And a lot of them, you know, they become your family.
Many workers grasping at straws. But Mike Reed in Buffalo, New York, is cautiously optimistic about his marketing job at a law firm.
Firm I worked for, they want to bring us all back. Several weeks, could be several months. They just don't know when.
And the governor's stay-at-home order means a lot of people are spending more time cooped up in their house. Up next, we hear from a family therapist about the toll this takes on your relationship. Welcome back. Well, practicing social distancing could mean that there is now extra distance between you and your significant other, or it could also mean you and your spouse are now have less distance between the two of you. Well, joining us this morning to talk about how we can nurture our relationship during this time was Jessica Birdloff. She's a licensed marriage and family therapist. Now, for couples who don't live together, social distancing may feel like being in a long-term relationship, but what can you do to help minimize that?
There's lots of resources out there for couples who do find themselves in this situation. My first tip, which is obvious to most people, would be make time for each other, you know, to connect over Skype or Zoom or FaceTime, texting, calling. Really prioritize that. Of course, we should all be doing that with our loved ones. There are a lot of other things you can do together. Stream a movie or TV show. You know, the good news is we're all in this together. And right now, lots of places have made virtual tours free online, so you can do that together. You know, you can take a tour of a museum or a landmark, find a video game to play together online, anything you can do to keep that connection strong during this time.
Okay, now there's been a lot of discussion about this next topic in our newsroom this week, but between a few of us who are married and maybe are now experiencing a little too much togetherness with their loved ones. Perhaps both spouses are working from home. Tensions could rise there. If there are kids in the mix, that adds a whole nother piece to that puzzle. What kind of suggestions do you have? Exactly. Are you and your husband in that situation right now?
Oh, we are, yeah. Suddenly we're both working from home with a 9-month-old and a 5-year-old who's out of school. So it's been real good times. The first thing I would say is to remember that this situation is unprecedented, that no one expected this. No one is prepared for this. The tensions are going to run high. There's a lot of stress and anxiety just in general about this situation with the virus and all of it. So be gentle with yourself and your spouse and be compassionate. Try and check your judgment language and, just in general, give yourself space to be upset and anxious, but try and take turns with your partner as much as possible. So if you're overwhelmed, hopefully your partner can step up to be supportive. And then when it's his turn or her turn to be overwhelmed, you can do the same for them. But it's important to remain compassionate with each other and always give each other the benefit of the doubt that we're all doing the best we can with this really bizarre and stressful and overwhelming situation.
What kind of schedule would you recommend? You guys are in this situation right now where you have kids at home who are out of school, and you're both working from home. So everyone has a job to do, but then you also have these kids who need basically, a school day, a schedule themselves. How are you guys figuring that time out?
We are doing our best. We have a loose schedule based on our son's TK schedule that he told us. So we kind of try and maintain that, and we both try and fit work in as much as possible. My husband obviously is a little bit more in demand from his job, so I kind of pick up the slack with the kids a little bit more, and he does a little more work. But when I need time, I just have to ask for it. One thing that we've really had to prioritize, my husband and I both, are asking for what we need. And that doesn't include just work time, but also time away, to go on a run, to get outside. That would be my biggest suggestion for everybody, is just find ways to be outside, away, obviously 6 feet away from everyone, but to get outside and enjoy this beautiful weather, because that's the one gift we have in this situation. And also it gives us some space to reset and take a breath a little bit.
And there's no need to skip out on date night if you're social distancing with a partner. 17's Amber Frias with some ideas on how to have a unique experience at home.
If your favorite restaurant is closed for dine-in, your favorite bar is closed, and basically every event around town is canceled, you may be asking yourself, what does that mean for date night? Well, a group of local businesses from around town joined forces to answer that question for you and make sure the coronavirus outbreak doesn't squash the romance. You may be stuck at home, but that doesn't mean date night is canceled. Jennifer Sanderson, a local event planner, came up with an idea for couples to maintain the spark while stuck indoors.
I started reading about a lot of people that were really sad, that they were cooped up and they weren't able to celebrate special moments. So that's how I came up with stay-at-home date night.
Stay-at-home date night is an experience put together by local businesses across the county and delivered to your front door.
So last weekend we had flowers from House of Flowers, we had candles from Oleander and Palm, we had food from the kitchen and wine, we had chicken from Autonomy Farms. So really just trying to create a local vibe and something you can make at home and make it really fun.
Stay-at-home date night incorporates different businesses every week.
If any businesses want to reach out to me, we're still, assuming this continues on, we're still looking to put together more packages.
Making each week's stay-at-home date night experience unique.
What do you look for when you go out, and what are you looking to do? How can you bring that home? And so I think last weekend, for instance, the candles and the flowers were a huge part of it. It's not just going and picking up to-go food. It's sort of making this whole moment, put your kids to bed, set up your table, light the candles, bring a little of that magic that you're looking for when you go out into your house.
While helping many local businesses around town.
The income has just dried up for most of our town's small businesses, so anything you can do like this is great.
Pricing for stay-at-home date night will vary every week depending on the participating businesses. This weekend's tropical-themed date night experience is $97. These date night packages are only available on Friday and Saturday. We have information on how to order one up on our website, KGET.com. Amber Frias, 17 News.
This is 17 News with continuing coronavirus coverage.